Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I want to add my voice to the many voices, Liberians, both at home and abroad. I first of all want to say congratulations to Liberia. Congratulations to the President, Jose Nyima Boakai, and the VP, Jeremiah Bankun, for the leadership role that they have played. If we talking about development to get infrastructure, the schools, hospitals, roads, bridges, but number one priority is supposed to be roads connectivities. The past administration initiated the roads project, but those community roads that they were building. Right? Those were community roads that they were actually building. And as such, they have to rent equipment because public work doesn't have the capacity with the machine to do the community roads. So as such, they have to actually, contract the earth moving equipment in order to build the community roads that George were built by them. And on top of that, when they use the equipment to rent them, there will be contractors that have the equipment that will come with them that will also be contracted. So God was spending so much money to build the community roads. I'm giving you overview, and I will tell you my input. I will give you my input about the machine that were brought in country 3 days ago. When President Nima Boakai was running for office in 2017, when they were actually debating, he said, my priority in order to get Liberia back on track, to decentralize the country, my priority will be roads. I want to connect the 15 political subdivisions so there'll be accessibility. And of course, he lost the election. But now that he's serving as a president, he meant what he said and he said what he meant. The machine that were brought, because he said, I promise you guys that I was going to connect Liberia, the 15 political subdivision, so there can be an accessibility. So vehicle can plow without getting stuck in the mud. Because most of the counties, time for rainy season, car will get stuck in the mud for days, sometimes for weeks. And some of the county it's like they are disconnected from the rest of the country. I'm from Babi District, Nima County, Lower Nima County. We are the victim too of the bar road. But again, I want to give Joe that one, the bridge, the Kokui Bridge. He was the one that initiated it and built it. I can say that. But I'm not talking about that. I just want to give you that credibility. But my point here is, people will leave from Monrovia to go to Plibo, to go to Grand Gida Toastown, to go to Nima County Babi District, to go to Saninkole, to go to Lofa. You name it. But those cars will get stuck, more especially during the rainy season time, because the roads were bad. But quite recently, before the machine could arrive in country, the president said, let me tell you guys, there will be 285 machines that we're going to bring, including a pickup truck. And when we do the math, 19 pieces of each will go to the leeward counties, each of the counties, so that they can actually, speed up the work. And people were saying, that's not going to happen. That is just a promise. The Mama Ability, I'm told that she actually inflicted the figure and it become political. People begin to politicize it. So the woman said, hey, Jeremiah Bankun, the VP, can you go to China to actually make sure that you arrange for the machine because we need them. I don't want people to say I said it and I didn't do it. And the VP went to China, he arranged for them. And 137 of them arrived in country. That is what we call responsible leadership. Somebody said, but Mr. Rato, is this the first time for a machine to be brought in the country? I said, no, that's not the first time. Probably we have a machine, right? But this is the single most heavier equipment that ever arrived in country. And we need to celebrate. And there, as we're speaking right now, I'm told that the rest of it, this is the first batch of the machine. The second batch will be arriving soon and very soon. And the machine, I'm told that each county will carry 19 pieces of them. So it can't be like, we got to tackle Grand Gita, then we'll go to Roswell, then we'll go to, no. Each county will have their own. And then the thing is, Liberians will be trained to operate. It's going to provide job opportunity for our young people, rather. So if people are celebrating, I see they got reason for celebrating because it will help. Once the roads are clear and they are paved, they are enhanced, and those 15 political subdivisions have been connected, then we can decentralize. Because Monrovia is not Liberia. No, Monrovia is not Liberia. There are people that are living in Monrovia. They don't want to go by because of the bar rules. And there are people that are living in the Leeward counties. They want to bring their produce. Like for example, Obenja Pablo, from Palala district or Palala want to come. Or Manjua from Sano County want to bring a beta ball. Right? Once the roads are clear and accessible for vehicles not getting stuck on the road, they will come set up and go back the same days. That's what we're talking about. So if we are actually trying to showcase the government for doing the right thing by serving the people, then people think that, we are a partisan. So I am not a member of any political party. But this is my platform. If the government is doing the right thing, I will say it. But if they are also going off track, we will also try to critique them so they can know. But guess what? Besides those machines that were brought in country, 19 pieces each will go to every Leeward counties. But guess what? I'm told when the second batch of the machine arrive in country, there will be mechanized farming equipment that will be coming. 400 pieces of them. Because you know why? Bread is our staple food. We can eat bread. We can eat salad. We can eat anything. But if we don't eat rice, we're not satisfied. The Lebanese, the Indian, the Chinese, right? They are importing. They got licenses to import rice. Do you know how much money we spend in a year time to actually do importation of rice? When we got, we got vast land, rainforest, right? For us to actually be self-sufficient. But because nobody wants to hold the bull by the horn. So they said when we tackle the roads, I'm going to go back to China to send Jeremiah Bankun. 400 pieces of agricultural equipment will be coming. That's what we're talking about. Right? So I'm not trying to be political. But let's showcase the government for the good role they are playing. And somebody said, Omen Joe Baka is doing this because of 2029. He said, look, guys, despite our political differences, we should put the country first. We were elected for the people to work for them, with them. by them and for them. I'm not doing this because I want to be re-elected 2029. I'm doing this because I want to set a legacy. A legacy that when I leave tomorrow, they will say it was Joseph Newman Bwaka, the president, who did so, so, and so, and so. And I'm doing it for the young people, right? So again, I want to say congratulations. Anyway, mon sang fi edewe. Mon sang fi edewe. Mhm. Ah! Mon boy, guy, mon sang fi edewe. Mon boy. Oh, the way I'm late, you wear Ponsko. After Ponsko. So my internet keep buffering tonight. I'm sorry. And then people were saying, but that yellow machine will eat. Yes, you are not going to put a yellow machine inside the pen to eat. But if the roles are accessible, right, there will be employment opportunity. There will be, produce that will be brought from the interior to be sold. And those people that are starting to go back and put food on the table, right? And those that are saying that yellow machine will eat, that trying to politicize, when the roads are paved, right? They will be the same people to be planting the roads. They can tell you, it's like, man, Joe Buckas, you brought a machine and you paved the road from here to Lofa. I'm not going to drive on the roads. They're not going to say that. They will be the very first people to start driving, right? I understand that, George, we are initiated some of the project, but they were stalled, right? They were stalled. And I want to say congratulations, to all of you that expedited the process. Because you know what? Liberia was like a safe haven back then. Liberia was like a safe haven back in the 80s and in the 70s, right? Touring from Great Britain, from the Great United States, from China, even the West African, countries that border on Liberia, they will go to Liberia to see greener pasture. Liberia GDP at the time it surpassed even China right now that doing that is competing with the world, rapidly developing. The GDP was more than us, more than them rather. So it is because of the war that threw us back. But I want to say thank you to this administration because that country was built on Christian principle. The hands of God are on that country, and may God give the leadership of Liberia, the legislative branch, the judicial branch, right, and all of the rest of them to do what they have to do so that the country can accelerate, so that the country can be opened up. And there are a lot of Liberians that are actually away, they want to go back home, right? And let me get that way a little bit. I want to say to Gregory Como and the security apparatus, you guys are doing a very fabulous job. I can tell you that. Yes, because before the last administration and the administration before last, that is, Manasoli administration, 12-year administration, he would have spent 6 years. At that time, when Ecomo left, the Zocos, armed robbery were on the high rise. And security that working with the government, the apparatus, they were aiding and abetting. So armed robbery was on the rise, on the harassing. And at some point when after 9 p.m. in Monrovia or in Liberia, you can't go outside because the Zocos would take the whole street and hijack people and rob. And while they were doing that, security apparatus were aiding and abetting them. And that's why I said Gregory Como is a real good leader. Yes, since he took power, right? armed robbery have been subsided, right? Even though they tell majestic. But I want to say security number one in our country. Even the drugs that are being brought in the country because there are proliferation of ghettos. And most of the cartel are using our country to be the base to transport drugs outside of the country. But with the administration and putting the right people in the right place, most of the drugs or ghetto, the proliferation, they are being broken and people being arrested. And I'm told, because last time I suggested, I said they should seal the border points, Guinea, Ivory Coast, and Sierra Leone, because bulk of the drugs are coming from the border. And they listen. And besides that, the Freeport of Monrovia, the seaport, Bassa, Sano, and the Freeport of Monrovia, they should send credible people, security apparatus to block the area. Then the airport, Robert International Airport, and the airport in Springfield, they should seal them. And now, when they do this thing, then our children that are being victims of the drugs will be free. And our country will be free from drugs. Because when those things are happening in the country, people get afraid to go for vacation. And I'm going to say, Gregory Coma, thank you. I really like the way you're doing. I worked with NSA for 9 years. I know how that country was when Chancellor was in power. Right? So I know I left the country in 2000. I joined NSA in 1991. And I left in 2000. So I work in the security apparatus. And when you're doing a good job, I will tell you, thank you. That's what we need to do. Most time fear that way, man. Most time fear that way. I blow my mujai do dore. Kabo. Pourquoi? Attends. On peut regarder ouais. All right, so one more thing I want to say, and I will call it a night, because just after 11 o'clock p.m. in Atlantic City, New Jersey. You see, before the war, there was stable electricity throughout the length and breadth of Liberia. There were running water all over Liberia. There was stability of security in Liberia. Those things will come back. We're going to go back and try. It take time, but we're going to get back. Right? So my thing here is the Millennium Challenge Corporation money. I don't know if you guys already receive it. Those of you that don't know what they call MCC, I'm not talking about Monroe City Corporation, I'm talking about Millennium Challenge Corporation. If the government gets certain school for doing good, like the security, electricity, and you name it, when they do good, the economy, fighting corruption, those are schools. If you actually pass the schools, they're going to give you $500 million. That is 500,000 million, $500 million. George got it too. Manusali got it. But what did they do with it? My suggestion, Mr. President, I know somebody can watch us. Please let them open a new dam, Man Coffee, because that particular dam was built since 1945 during the World War II. So we need to build a new dam. Trust me, where there is stable electricity, there will be security. See, the last time when you lit the Rubberfield Highway, people were so excited, right? Because the criminal love darkness. But when the country is electrified, not only Monrovia, let it be decentralized. Mr. President, I'm speaking to you in this camera. If you do that, even though you said, I'm not doing this for re-election, I'm not doing this for politics. I'm doing it to set a legacy. I'm doing it for the young people, tomorrow that when the country is developed, so they can be able to enjoy. That's what I'm doing. But I'm saying this to say, Mr. President, oh Lord, the internet is giving me a hard time tonight. I'm saying this to say, Mr. President, that if you do all of these things, some of the suggestions that we are actually giving you, if you do them, right, they might elect for the second term. And I always pray on my altar. When you enter my house, right to the right hand side of the coat check, I remove everything, I make it out of altar. I always pray that God will give you good health and give you long life because you are putting the country first. You are not putting politics over the country, but you are putting the country over politics. And that's why a responsible presidency is supposed to behave, and that's exactly what you're doing, right? So the last time I checked, people were criticizing you for building the presidential villa in your hometown. I said that was not right. But again, it's already been built. But that was not right. For me, I support when you are doing the right thing. But that, I think it was wrong. I let it be balanced. The project, Robert International Airport, it was initiated by George Weah. But when they brought the poles and the light, the machine equipment, they couldn't do the job. So it was stalled. But when you got in power, right away, you continue it. There's a hospital that you are building right now. Even though Manuseli started it, George Weah started it, but the process got stalled. But you still, when you got in power, there were shortages of gasoline during the past administration. The rice price was jacked up. But since you got in power for almost 3.5 years now, you're doing everything for the people because that's why you were elected for. And I just want to say thank you. May God bless you. Right? And my next advice to you, Mr. President, I got 7 more minutes. I want to do half an hour. My next advice to you, Mr. President, right? One of your priority is to fight corruption, right? Your priority is to fight corruption. And I know in the past administration, those that never have the affordability to rent home, to buy vehicle, to even get a stable job, when they got in power, they began to get property. Some of them were indicted. The life of Bill Twelve, the life of Jefferson Kochi, the life of Samuel Tue. You name them. Those guys enriched themselves. And some of them were indicted, went to court, and up to this time, the cases are still pending. And not only that, but there are people that are working with you as well. Some of them were indicted for corruption. And I know you don't play when it comes to corruption. You will put them out. Let there be a precedent set that when he or she corrupt the system and is indicted, investigated, and found guilty, they should go behind bars. that would serve as a benchmark, you know. Yes. And the last time I said that I'm glad that Omen Joe Bwaka is actually navigating the country to go back to a pre-war status, to its pre-war status. Because when the capital biddings or SEGA took place the last time, I was angry. And I said that if the country boys don't able to actually lead the country in the right direction, then you should give it to the Congo boys. Because the boys in the house were behaving like animals, animalistic behavior. But since you got in power, I mean, it will take time, but you are putting graduously, you are navigating the country in the right direction to go back onto a pre-war status. And I really like that. And the next thing I want to say to you again, Mr. President, um, please try and do cabinet reshuffle after every 1 year. Those who are productive, you can retain them. And those who are not productive, you can take them out and put somebody else, switch them around. Because you see, corruption, Mr. JNB, corruption is embedded into the system. It's systemic. If somebody stays in an office for 2 to 3 years, when they are corrupting the system, you will know because it's systemic, it's embedded. But once you switch them around, the productive one, evaluate them, the productive ones, retain them, but you can still actually put them somewhere else. That's what Tower used to do. But again, I want to say you are doing a very good job, fine job. May God give you long life. May God gives you good health. May God give you the knowledge, the anointing, so that you can actually do what you were elected to do. I always pray for you to get long life so we can get more. Because the young people, they feel us. And when we try to actually speak truth to power, they think that we are trying to, they think that we are, running politics. Or we are actually trying to speak for a particular group of, administration. But it is our job, those of us that have the platforms, powerful platforms, we have to make sure to showcase our country. Right? So again, guys, I got 3 more minutes to go. Once I feel that work out. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. My name is Jim Ratto Jr. from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Let us put our political differences aside and let's wrap our hands around this administration to be able to achieve our developmental agendas. The next thing I wanted to talk about, but I don't have time right now, is the Hotel Africa. It's Liberia owned. I think we need to resuscitate and bring it back to life so that can provide job opportunity. Even the Ducal Party Hotel, right? We need to do that. I'm talking about EJ Raw. Those are pre-war, those buildings, those days, man. Tourists were coming. They were the luxury hotel at the time. So again, Mr. President, it will take time, but I know you're doing your best. And I want to say thank you. Have yourself a wonderful night. I'm Jim Ratto Jr. from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Thank you. I appreciate you. God bless you and have yourself a good night. Right? Thanks.